Ensign Boimler has been trying to get the Gowron expansion for months. Rutherford and Billups went into the Sacred Hole without an exposed naval, and there's an open spot in the Spring Ball tournament. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 7th Rule with Cirroc Lofton.
Hello.
Today we're doing a review of Lower Decks Season 3, Episode 2, The Least Dangerous Game, and we have a very special guest, by the way. His name is Mr. J.G. Hertzler. Thank you so much for joining us again.
You weren't able to get JG for this.
Who do we get?
His mother. That's me. Well, there's a strong family resemblance, I do admit. He gets all his hat wearing from me. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to talk like this. Forgive me. He's my son. He does so well on your sci-fi program.
He does. You should be very proud. And by the way, you were trying to explain to us where you got this bite in your hat. Everybody that's just listening, looks like you fought a grizzly bear in that hat. Or a targ.
He's a teddy bear. But I was able to beat the pulp out of that little teddy bear. And but before I could catch him, he ripped this hole in my hat. No, it's not. It's not a grizzly. It is a teddy.
Teddy was a jerk.
What?
I said that Teddy was a jerk. He had it coming.
No. Actually, I do have Teddy. Well, I'll show him to you. Is he sitting right over there? Oh, no, I took him to the other room. I found, we've been going, my beloved Chevy and I have an antiques and vintage store in a very nice little town in upstate New York, Skaneateles. And we buy a lot of things, but we also go through all the stuff that I've acquired. I mean, I've been dragging along my entire life's worth of stuff from the East Coast to the West Coast to the East Coast again. And then, of course, all the places I lived, my dad was in the Air Force. But I found in a bag my Teddy, my old Teddy. And from when I was 5, 4, 3.
Anyway, does your Teddy have a name? Did you name him?
Well, it's the same as mine, isn't it? That's the best name. It's John. Hello, John. Good. John. You could be Johnny. I'll be John. Actually, my dad had a nickname for me, Gabby, because I worshipped, I think, for some reason, an actor named Gabby Hayes, who was on. If you don't know him, look up Gabby Hayes. He talked like this because he was a cook on the wagon train. And Gabby Hayes, man. Why my dad called me Gabby, I don't know.
Gabby Hayes.
Maybe you talked a lot as a kid.
What?
Gab.
Oh. No, I was so quiet. I have a lazy eye. This eye is 100. It's not 100% blind. I can see movement and maybe some color, but I cannot focus on anything. And with Martok, they wanted to cover up my right eye, and I said, no, you can't be able to see anything. And I'll knock things over like, Armin. And I said, no, it's got to be the left eye. So that's how that's how Martok ended up with the left eye, and I see it back there. Of course, wait, that's the right eye that's covered up.
And that's how J.G. Hertzler ended up in the popular group TLC. Everybody, that's a left eye chili joke. Sorry, I'm sorry, J.G. You'll not worth explaining. Chili.
Yeah.
No, but actually, let's take a look at your character here. Check it out. How do I spotlight myself?
Gigantic left.
This is your first time seeing your character animated.
There it is.
I can't believe they. Oh, I see with that giant eyeball. So I've got Galron's eyeball and Martok scratched out left eye. That's
And you're rolling a 20-sided die right here, where they are.
Handsome.
I love it. What are those little guys with the raised batlet?
Those are the figurines of the toys of the. It's like a game, and these are like their figurines. You know how you move your pieces around.
Yeah, I didn't know any of this. When I recorded the sound for it. Wow. Well, can I take about 45 minutes and listen to it, and I'll be back after that?
Well, you know, the thing is, I thought you were fantastic in this episode. This is actually one of my favorite Lower Decks episodes out of all of them.
It seemed insane to me. It seemed insane. I said, why? This is bizarre, you know.
Well, they did a great thing. What they did was they took your character and they basically made a board game out of General Martok. And I think it's like a brilliant idea. I mean, it is.
Now, wait a minute. You know, Roddenberry Productions is a producer on this show. Yeah. And I wonder if Rod had anything to do with this idea. He said, I got a perfect idea for JG's character. We'll make him a board game host. What?
Well, it turns out to be very funny. And the lines that you deliver are just amazing. You say, my death will be ecstasy. But my favorite line, where I had to rewind it about 4 times, and that is when you say, how many of you are coming with me, or something to that effect. And you say, I heard 4.
Yes.
And the way you say it is exactly how I know you as you know, JG. It's just that comedy was just, I had to rewind it and laugh. I laughed each time you said it. It was just that funny.
Well, I can't wait to hear it and see it, because I love Lower Decks. I think it's it's great Star Trek stuff. It is faster than any other Star Trek that I've ever seen. I mean, this is fast, this show.
Yes.
If it were live action, for me, it would be impossible to keep up. I said, no, I don't go that fast anymore. In fact, I never did. But fast. The humor's fast. The quips are outrageous. And if you don't get it the first time, I guess you can go back and, if you're recording it and get it the second time. But it's impressive. And I was so glad to know that Roddenberry Productions is a co-producer on it. It's a great tie together for the history of Star Trek.
Mm-hmm. Well, when they first approached you to do this, was this something that you kind of dropped some hints, or you nudged some people, or you knew some people that knew some people, or was this just kind of a call out of the blue? Your agent or manager says, hey, I got a call from Star Trek. They want to roll for you, and you're like, awesome, what is it? And they're like, it's a cartoon. Hear me out. How did it go?
Well, no, I've done a lot of voiceover for animation on other shows. Golden. I did one of the funnest things I ever did was the scratch tape or scratch disc for Ian McShane was in it, and I was his voice. I also had to because Peter O'Toole refused to do the game of Ratatouille. I ended up mimicking as best I could Peter O'Toole, and I learned one word that was very, 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 very O'Toole. To say the word God. He says, God! It's how good God! It's a different vowel. It's an aw. It's a
T at the end?
Yeah. God!
Actually, this was not your first time being approached by Lower Decks. You had done the Drukmani captain, I think.
Oh yeah,
in season 1.
Is probably my favorite character. Well, season 1, I think, and 2. I did well. Anyway, I did 2 episodes of the Drukmani captain, and I love doing him because Martok's loud, but he's not insane. The Drukmani captain is insane and loud. So it's everything that I ask in a part. I hope it's insane and loud. Oh yes, Mr. Hertzler, it's insane and very loud. Anyway, yeah. But the other thing was about I don't remember how I got word of this. The Drukmani captain, and maybe it was through Roddenberry Productions that they might have recommended me, but I don't know. And but I know that my agent represents the casting people also for the show.
Okay.
So that's the other alleyway, but I didn't even know about the show. I didn't know about it. Somebody called up and said blah blah, and it was my whole association with Star Trek has been like that. I never thought I love sci-fi, but I had never been a devoted fan of this original series when it because I was around when it happened and I didn't watch it but I watched it in reruns, and then Next Generation really won me over because it's got a Shakespearean actor in the lead, as the captain, and that really did it for me, Patrick. But then you go back and you say, well, you realize that I missed so much by not watching the original series religiously. Then you go back and watch it religiously and run it over and over and over again. And these great actors. I mean, I got to do conventions with Leonard Nimoy, but I never got to be in a show with him. But that's. I think I was talking to Bob. Who was I talking to?
Bob O'Reilly?
Yeah, I think it was. I'm not sure. I'm going to spend some time with him next week. Star Trek Day is September 8th.
Right.
Yes. And I'm going to go to Philadelphia to do a show. And then, it's
with the Roddenberrys. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. We love those guys. Yeah.
Oh, man. I do too. And they're not only incredibly wonderful people, they are knockout musicians. Yeah. Pepper, the drummer, is phenomenal. It's like sitting back and listening to who did my
Dave Matthews.
No. God damn it! I can't think of the words.
Cirroc, you got this?
No.
It's the drummer, not B.B. King, but well, my mind is going through them changes. I think I'm going out of my head. Well, my baby, she stepped out on me. Who did that song?
Wow, somebody in the live chat's going to have to help us out there. Sounds good, but I don't know it.
He's a drummer, and Pepper so reminds me of him. He's incredible. And when they anyway, the Roddenberrys are very special people, and just another great gift because Gene Roddenberry submitted a script to Desilu way back when this all has happened. I mean, the provenance is phenomenal. To go back and God, I wish
JG, when you reprise your character like you did with Martok in this episode. How fast is it or easy is it for you to just click it on and be right in the mix? I mean, it seems like you can do it at the drop of a hat.
In theater, Cirroc, I used to do 8 shows a week in theater. You do 7 or 6 nights and a couple of matinees. 6 to 8 shows a week. And when you're doing at ACT in San Francisco, when you're doing rotating repertoire, you're doing 3 plays simultaneously. So it's not just the same show, but you have to keep 8 shows or 3 shows at all times in your head to be able to perform them immediately without any searching time. There's no searching time on stage. There's no crying in baseball, and there's no searching time in theater. It's got to be there. And that was good training, actually, for Star Trek. And for any of these, I'm sure that Andy Robinson will say the same thing, and Jeffrey Combs and Casey Biggs and all the guys who were not necessarily regulars there all the time, but when they came in, they had to have it right there. There was no time. There was no rehearsal. You know, you maybe do camera rehearsal. That's about it. Camera blocking, but and stepping back into it because it was so much a part. Listen, I never got in television and film unless you're a regular and thereby becoming a millionaire. Unless you're a regular in a TV series, you don't get to repeat. You don't get to work on the character. You just go in and do it, and it either works or it doesn't, and it disappears out of your life. I had 4 to 5 years of being able to work with you guys, you know, with Cirroc and all of the people, and it's a great gift to be able to work on the same character for 4 or 5 years. It's a great gift. And I wasn't going from age 4 to 25 like you were, Cirroc.
It was 3.5.
What was that like? I can only wonder. Because you see yourself constantly. I mean, I really haven't changed very much, but you know, from a child to a giant man.
I was doing a lot of changing. That's true. That's true. Mm-hmm. But you were able to just sit with these characters, develop them, and now they're just a part of you. So you can call on Jim Martok whenever you want.
Well, real quick, one character that you did just drop in was this Drukmani captain here. Everybody that's listening in right now, or everybody at home that doesn't quite remember what he looked like, with the left eye covered again.
I loved him. Did
you get? You've seen this character before, or were you able to? Okay, great.
I did a show. Treasure Island. It actually was made to open. It was a made-for-TV movie that was lit by Michael Kahn, who's a great person, an incredible cinematographer and lighting extraordinaire. This character, it was a combination of Martok and the Black Dog, the character that I played as a pirate on The Adventures of anyway, for Treasure Island. Yeah, and Black Dog was wonderful. I mean, it's like at one point he says to Jim, the little boy playing Jim, it's a time travel thing as well as it's an amazing movie. Cirque du Soleil was part of it. At one point, we were walking down the producer had set this up, and at one point, suddenly there was somebody sitting on my shoulders. The Cirque du Soleil people they're barely human. You know, they're like fairies. They just suddenly there was a person on my shoulders, and I don't know how he got there. You know, just walking. Anyway. Drukmani Captain was because at one point I said in Treasure Island, I said it was like, give me the map, Jim. Give us the map, Jim. Give us the map. Give me the map. You know.
Yes.
And the Drukmani Captain was right there. There's a short fuse, and that I draw on my own life. My fuse is.
There he is. Martok with a smile.
Well, like you said, he's got the Galron eye, though.
Galron eye and sorry left eye. I think that's going to piss Bob off so much.
They stole my eye trick.
Absolutely. They stole my Galron eye.
Oh, yeah. You're so wonderful, JG. You're so amazing that actually the more I like I'm when I'm watching this episode, I'm thinking, how come he's not doing this all the time? Like, I want to see you as a regular character on Lower Decks. I just feel like your voice is that great.
I keep calling Rod. You know, I have his Beverly Hills number. I keep calling, okay, regular now? Rob, regular?
They like it when you knock on their home door. That's what they prefer that.
I've done it. I've been there. I'm going to park out here until I'm a regular. Rob! Serious. Anyway, I love to do it. While I can still talk, I'd love to do it.
Would you be able to do like a diversity of voices? What if they said, we can't make you a regular, but we can make you regularly appearing as different characters every episode or every other episode? Would it be fun for you to create different voices and different characters for the show?
God, yes. You know,
there it is.
I've studied at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Artistry, and I have learned that the secret to accents is varying the food intake. For instance, for this voice, I have to eat 3 days straight of persimmons, and only persimmons. Otherwise, I have a normal diet, and of course, I don't have to create. It's my regular voice when I get. but to be this fellow, it's 3 days of persimmons, and it dries up everything in your face and your vocal cords. They all shrink down tight, and they're like this and this, and that's what happened to the British. The British love persimmon. That's why they talk like this.
Who doesn't love persimmons? Am I right?
Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it also lost us half our viewers in Great Britain.
I'm sorry.
They're like, we love persimmons. How dare you? Everybody loves them.
We really should. I mean, God, the British are good at march music. They are, they're the best. Good at a few things, but I mean, the British brass bands. Anyway, forgive me, Great Britain. You are great. You deserve to have great in your very name. And
that's right.
They had a line in this episode where they said, "Hey, that's cool that Martok would record his voice for this board game," and the other actor on the show says, "Oh no, this is a knockoff, the Ferengi."
Yes,
right. They got a Ferengi imitating him, something like that. I said, "What?
And there's a Gowron expansion pack that you can get, by the way. So fingers crossed about that.
Wow.
So
I love it. I love the writers. You're great writers on that show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing the actual board game. I think it'll be great.
Oh man. It is a gold mine, and they're not going to do it. I don't think they have any plans to do it. But if they did, it's a gold mine.
Well, it was basically Dungeons and Dragons, but it was what was it? It was Batleths and Bithnooks, right?
Yes,
so,
yes,
which
right.
I think means coward in Klingon. I had to look that up. I didn't have that one stored in here.
Howard, but yes, I asked him about that. I can't remember what they said, but yeah, I had the same question. What's a Bitnook? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we only have a few minutes left with you, JG, but can you tell us what the process is like when you're recording for them? Are you going into the studio, or are they sending a bunch of, there's a little friend there? Or are they sending all the equipment over to you, or how quickly is it done in studio?
What, you mean recording?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, there's a studio. Oh, I forgot to tell you about that. There's a studio up in Syracuse called what is it called? The
Sub Rosa.
Subcat. Weird name. Subcat Studios, and it is a full blown. There's nothing less than a Hollywood studio up in this studio, and great people working there.
And is the director zooming in and saying, "Give it"?
Oh, they're
to me
always
again?
there. Yeah, they're there. I don't think they're on a ISND line, whatever those initials are. They're on a line. They might as well be in the studio, but they don't necessarily have a visual. It's voiceover. So, but they're on everything, and they have a feeling or a take on everything, and they anybody listening will have some sort of a request, maybe twist this a little bit more that way or crunch this together. You know what I mean? And they're in LA. Are they in LA or New York? I'm not even sure.
Probably LA, I would guess.
Yeah. I actually, yeah. But the studios, anyway, I got there to record this at 9:00. And there was nobody there. And I said, "What's going on?"
Were they talking Pacific time?
That's exactly. But
Oh,
they forgot to make the note in the call sheets that I got. So I was there I said, "You know what? I'm going to go get some breakfast."
Yeah, I hope it's a nice town to hang out in.
Going to bring you back anything? And they had the producers. They said, "Oh my God, we screwed up. What can we do to make it right?" I said, "Please, just pay me. That's all I request. If you pay an actor, it's better than normal."
See, everybody, the most forgiving man in Hollywood is not even in Hollywood, Mr. J.G. Hertzler.
Anyway, it was a bit of a logistical disaster on that first, and then I did it. Everybody got there, everybody was online, and did it about 2 hours. I think it was of recording time. One of the things I did a game. What was it? BioShock. I don't know if you're familiar with the BioShock 1 and 2. I didn't do 3. But I did this character called Dr. Grossman, and Dr. Grossman was not only loud, but he was very high pitched and excruciatingly angry. So many of my characters are excruciatingly angry. I wonder, "Doctor, could we talk after this, please?" He said, but he would say things like, "Do not argue with me. I am a psychiatrist." And that I recorded that voice in about an hour and 10 minutes or 30 minutes. My throat was just a bloody, shredded. The cords were like hanging out of my mouth. It was. I was like, "Yeah, okay, hello, Cirroc. I can."
That's another good voice.
Yeah, very smoky. Anyway, but it was a great deal of fun. And if you get BioShock, please get it, everybody out there. Bye. I get 10 cents from every game, every purchase. So my dimes.
The March of Dimes.
My personal March of Dimes. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh man, we love you. I think, like I said, I can't get enough of your voice, of the characters that you play, because you put so much passion into it, and the humor. "Oh no, you're not going to die as a warrior, but as a dentist." I think that was one of the lines.
That was killer. It's good money though.
I can't wait to see this game. This episode.
It is. Yes.
I really, really can. Well, is it on this week?
Yeah, it just dropped today.
So it's on. It's online. It's on TV today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Dying as a dentist.
JG, we want to thank you so much for taking the time for us. And special note, we did give you the correct Eastern time. I'm just saying that we did do that. So
you did, indeed.
Organized.
I was panicking because I said, "Why won't it?" I was trying to type in the thing and I couldn't get it to work. But I forgot what I was going to say. There was something there, but it's flown away. So many thoughts do
out in space.
Well, we love you, JG. We stay loving you. You always deliver these amazing performances, and you just blow us away. I mean, you're just exceptional. So
it's mutual, Cirroc. What a wonderful human being you are. And I don't know how you ever got mixed up with Ryan. But
bad luck. Some people just don't get good luck.
Thank God for
Bad
Ryan.
karma.
You're an extraordinary doer. You're a doer, Ryan, and those are so rare in this business, in this world. People who actually accomplish, and that's a talent that I wish to goodness I had.
Well, thank you so much. But coming from a doer yourself, don't say you wish you had it, but you are. I mean, we're sitting here, praising all your accolades because you have this enormous body of work that we can only hope to sniff someday. But we really appreciate you, JG, as well. Your body of work, your personality, and the amount of time that you share with us. We really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Honestly, I just, I just thought of one thing. I just wrote a book called, I call it Confessions of a Klingon Linebacker. It is.
You were a linebacker.
I was, and I wrote it for my daughter because she was born when I was 49, almost 50, and so
she's a toddler.
She doesn't know anything. No, that was 22 years ago. But she doesn't know that much about everything that I did in life with my family that I was born into, and everything that led up to going into show business, because I didn't have any dream of being in show business as a child. I was sort of I don't know what I would call me, but then there were two major parts of my life. One with Star Trek, it changed everything for me as an actor, and one was a linebacker for Bucknell University. Yeah, and those two aspects of my life are very intertwined, and they sort of made me whatever it is I am. And as my parents, of course, but what was I going? Oh, it's for my daughter, and I think I am so happy that I'll be able to leave behind what we left behind.
Yeah,
all this stuff about her dad.
That's awesome.
When I'm not,
Are you publishing this book for all of us, or is it just for her?
I was trying to get it out by Christmas, but my editor just had her second baby, so I was due to get it. I would have been on right now, as a matter of fact, with my editor trying to finish the editing because she's in Colorado. Wonderful person. And she's already got the one child. She'll be a wonderful, wonderful mother. And her name's Eleanor, which is also the name of my mother. So it was meant to be. Anyway, she has got to delay it a little bit more, and it's going to be tough to get it out for a Christmas present. But I'm still hoping that I can get it out and published by Christmas time.
Well, everybody at home, you heard it here first. JG has now promised to come back once his book is out to talk about that. Right? That's what I heard, basically.
That's what you heard. Confessions of a Klingon.
All right. I'll do it.
Yes.
Jeez.
Arm twisting champ of the world.
My book. Yeah. No, I would love to, because it's filled with stories that nobody's heard, because it starts at year one in Savannah, Georgia, where I was born.
Oh, wow.
And so.
Sounds good. Well, we look forward to that. Yeah, for sure. Let
Yeah.
us know, and we will definitely bring you on, and we're going to talk all about it and have some fun. But no spoilers. We'll just give hints and stuff so people go buy the book.
Thank
but JG,
you,
thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you and your time.
Absolutely.
You've been unbelievably gracious with us in the past. You were like our very first guest we ever had on this show back in January, February of 2019, and we have not forgotten. You're the best, and we love you, JG. Thank you so much. Everybody at home, stick around. We will be right back on the 7th Rule. Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to the 7th Rule with Cirroc Lofton, of course.
Yeah, hello.
That was JG Hertzler. Man, we love that guy. He is just the best of the best. Rooting for him all the way. Real quick, here are some trivioids that may or may not have made the cutting room floor this week. Boimler has been trying to get the Gowron expansion for months. Boimler would love to be the number one's number one. Captain Vendome, I don't remember. I don't know how to say it in French. Vendome got a promotion and it's stuck. Ransom and Mariner are going to fix the elevators, orbital lifts. Vendome stacked his bridge with Bolians, which I think is awesome. There's an open spot in the spring ball tournament. Oh my God, spring ball, you guys. Delanians are a friendly people that kiss with tongue instead of shaking hands. Rutherford went into the sacred hole without an exposed navel. Captain Freeman shared a lovely brunch with Cranch. You know he's quite the charmer. Oh, you know, when I first heard Cranch, I was like, is JG doing double duty? But then in the credits afterwards, it just said featuring JG Hertzler as Martok. It didn't mention him as Cranch. But it was not him. But at first I was like, wait a minute. Is he doing both of those? I thought that was all great stuff. What did you think, Cirroc?
Loved this episode. Reminded me of why I love Lower Deck so much. Yeah. I think JG mentioned something about the pace and the, how quick it is. It's a very quick-witted, very fast-moving show. And that's one of the other things I enjoy about it. And the clever ideas that they have, like, making a board game out of General Martok, that was actually bootlegged by the Ferragis. I mean, this is just like exceptionally good comedy right here, as far as I'm concerned. And the dialogue. I mean, you mentioned earlier in the intro about, they kiss instead of shaking hands. And
with
then
tongue.
Rutherford, Rutherford, right on cue, like, with tongue. And it's just like, it's just made me laugh. I was laughing my butt off watching this episode because of the lines, sweaty muscle heads throwing balls in my face.
Yeah. Well, do you remember Spring Ball? Do you remember Spring Ball? That's
the O'Brien and Bashir game, right?
Yes, where O'Brien and Bashir are cosplaying two weirdos. And then there was another
we're
game.
Supposed to do that too. We're supposed to cosplay that.
I know. Oops.
One of these days.
Star Trek Las Vegas just passed. Next time wait. For sure. Boy, oh boy. Wait till the cruise. We'll definitely do it on the cruise. I'll be O'Brien and Cirroc will do the Bashir outfit.
Yeah, definitely.
So stay tuned for that. No, but there was so much humor in this. And, like we always say, it feels like they pack an hour of stuff into 25 minutes. You also had Shax and his dirge choir. There was like a naked drawing class. I don't know what that was all about. Oh, yeah. But these guys, when they said they kiss with hello and all that, and the way they were dressed reminded me of the episode Justice. And I'm sure it has nothing to do with Justice, but it reminded me of this. Justice is the episode of Next Generation, Cirroc. I always tell you about where they're basically running around in their underwear, and they just and they're, some very revealing outfits on there for the poor dudes. But it reminded me of that. I don't know if it was an exact nod to it because there have been a few episodes, there have been some original series things that are similar, and because the people were like orange or something like that. So I think it's original series stuff there.
I was reminded of the sex planet that Bashir and Lita went to. Remember when they broke? Was it Riza? Yeah, when they kind of went there, I was reminded of that kind of a place. So, I'm sure there's been many sex planets in Star Trek.
Planet. I think,
but
Captain Kirk, every planet he visited was a sex planet.
He made it a sex.
Can you be more specific, please? The sex planet? I don't know what that. What do you mean Earth?
You know, the planet where you had sex.
Yeah.
I'm still not getting anything.
I got kids on all of them.
Yeah. There were just too many lines that I thought were hilarious in this episode. The other one that I really stood out to me when he says, "Hey, look, Mariner, life's not all about getting fed fruit by erotic aliens with slightly different nose ridges." Another fantastic line. I just like, oh God, these guys really know how to troll Star Trek.
Totally. And that's what I love too about just animated shows in general, is that it basically costs them the same to make a giant alien like Cranch as it does to make a human with a nose ridge. Whereas in live action, the Cranch character would be a whole thing. It would either be post-production nightmare, or it'd be practical nightmare with, visual effects and makeup and helmets and whatever else. But now that's just, they can do whatever they want, and they control Star Trek, as you put it.
Yeah, they troll it really well. I mean, I love the little guest appearance from the Belugas. Remember, we saw the Belugas earlier, I think in a season ago.
And they said, "Don't jump in with the dirty shoes. That's messed up."
Yeah, that's messed up. And they're like, he's such a drama magnet.
Yeah.
Just hilarious. The troll is just amazing. The Audi, Audi belly button just being a theme of an episode is another funny thing. I just was laughing pretty much throughout the whole episode. When they were coming up to Boimler and asking him to participate, first it was Shax, and he was like, "I'm impressed." And he was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, by the way I played." He's like, "No, by the way you squealed the whole time." And so he uses his squealing to be like the falsetto in the choir. That was hilarious. And then from there it goes to that creepy guy saying, "We need a skeletal boy to draw."
Yes.
Calls him a skeletal boy.
And they said something about him being like 60 kilograms or something, 62 or 60. That's not very heavy. That's like maybe 140 pounds or something. So he's certainly not a muscle-bound freak, but we already know that. I do want to point out our good buddy Don Crandall sent a few things that maybe he can answer our questions here. He says the aliens and planet were similar to those on Gamma Trianguli 6. And here is that alien. It actually is very similar. Let me pull that up. Right? I mean, it's very much like this, except without the flowers.
Yeah.
That's from the original series. So that's good stuff there.
Yeah.
Good knowledge by Mr. Don Crandall. Also, he says the orbital lift idea was seen in Voyager's Rise. They were also called orbital tethers and maglev space elevators. We forgot about the orbital skydiving scene. He mentions that as well. That was from the Star Trek 2009 movie, where Scotty, I think Kirk, and then some other guy that died. Sulu, maybe Kirk, and then some engineer that ends up dying. And they're doing that skydiving thing, to land on some mining platform. And it was very similar to what Mariner and what Ransom ended up doing. Good knowledge there.
I saw a scene in the newer J.J. Abrams Star Trek where they're jumping out of something and trying to land on this one particular platform.
Yep.
That's the one? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, let me pull. This looks like it's from a comic book. Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
There they are jumping down.
Right.
Let's see if he's got any other juicy nuggets for us. Oh boy. He's showing off your outfits here, Cirroc. This is your spring ball outfit on Bashir. Here it is. So check that out. Look forward to that. You're gonna look great. Can't wait. It's very tight.
I'm on it.
All right. So that's good trivia there. Any final thoughts on this episode before we go until next week?
Yeah. I did like the all sales are final monologue right at the end with Martok.
Yeah.
Giving the whole lawyer disclaimer. Also like the line where he says that, there's 3 types of prey, and the ones that do this, the ones that do this. And he's like, what's the third type? The third type is a wind lizard-like creature. It doesn't really apply to you. I was laughing my ass off on that.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant when he said, you are an okay prey, or you are a good prey, but I have notes. I'm like, that's brilliant. Notes. I have notes.
Yes. And he's like, dude, don't go into a whole speech about, you're going to, I just was loving that moment. The abs of peace, I thought were hilarious when he pulls out his abs. And then the whole, hey, why do you have a baby, a computer, and the lava? And he's like, checks and balances. I love the whole checks and balances argument.
The baby was like, again, you are wise.
Yes. And finally, the last thing I want to do is give Tawny Newsome credit, because I just think I'm going to rearrange her name in Tawny Awesome, because she is awesome. And
Old
that's my final. Yeah, that's my final answer. Got a chance to meet her for the first time, and she's just wonderful in person. And her voiceover work is just, it's just impeccable, and she carries the show with her energy. So just want to give her a shout out too. Again, a reminder of why I like Lower Decks. This episode just gave me just enough of everything I wanted, and it just flies by so quickly. So shout out to everybody doing Lower Decks. They are just killing it, and killing it all over again. And I do think still, like I made a prediction in the first season, this will be the longest running Star Trek series.
Doing it well. I wonder what kind of reaction Mike McMahon would have if you told him 10 seasons. He'd be like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work, but would be like, just do it. We're behind you, man.
Just do it. Keep it going, man. If you got a good thing and you got the humor down pat, just keep it going, because I think the fans are loving it. And I think the way they're putting it together, the way they troll themselves, the way they take Star Trek lightly and they don't, make it too serious. I think those are the things that make it special. So, and we also got a Nam in this episode too with the katana, right? I think it was katana.
I didn't catch that.
No, she's the cat doctor?
Oh, Dr. Ta'ana.
Ta'ana. Yeah,
I missed that. We got the Nam. I got the Nam for Gowron. That was a good one as well. But you're right. Yeah, we didn't see her in this episode. Good catch.
Yeah, there was something where they said, Ta'ana said I forgot what the line was, but it was a reference to her.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, that's my cranch right there.
Oh boy, hang on, let me spotlight this.
That's my cranch.
Why can't I spotlight you anymore?
Well, they'll see it. It's my cranch.
I don't know. Anyway.
Well, that's all right. They can see my cranch dressing another time.
Okay. Hidden Valley Cranch. All right. Well, that's about it for us this week. I'm really happy that it's Lower Decks season. Can we call it a season? I mean, it's over 2 months. We could call it Lower Decks season. I love Lower Decks season. I'm very happy. We're already on season 3 of Lower Decks, which is freaking amazing. I'm loving it. You're loving it. JG is loving it. The fans are loving it. So Here's to episode 3, season 3, episode 3 coming out next week. Until then, this one was awesome. Let's give our thanks to some good friends of ours, and their names are, right off the top of my head,
Okay.
Homer Frizzell, Dr. Marie Segal, Eve England out in Wales, Yvette Blackmon-Tom, Carmen, a.k.a. Skillet, Timothy Baum, TJ Jackson-Bey out in Missouri, Bill Victor Arucan.
Sorry,
I got you all. You're taking a sip. Yeah. Where are we? At the top of my head, let me see. Titus Mohler, Darlena Marie, John Mann, Dr. Mohamed Noor, Tierney C. Diekman, Anna Post, Rex A. Wood, Anil O. Palat, Erica Strom, Joe Balsarati, Michael Gu, DQ, Neil Akasaka, Justine Norton Kurtzen, Dr. Stephanie Baker, Carrie Schwent, Faith Howell, Edward Foltz, and of course, we love you, Dr. Susan V. Gruner. That's what we got for you, everybody. My voice is still healing up from Las Vegas, so forgive me. It'll be better next week, probably. Anyway, that's it. Thanks very much, and everybody at home, we will see you next time. Until then, always remember the 7th rule.